Hello and welcome. We are broadcasting live from Global Nutripreneurs, the premier global gateway and unified operating system, transforming the future of the global agri-food economy. Today, the global food system stands at a critical crossroads. While the demand for functional health, wellness, and nutritional security is expanding exponentially, early-stage innovators face massive roadblocks, fragmented supply chains, opaque cross-border regulations, and a staggering volume of unvetted noise that isolates brilliant founders from institutional capital. The cost of this friction isn't just measured in lost revenue. It is measured in the unacceptably high rate of global food waste and systematic nutritional insecurity. Promoted by the Global Council for Agri-Food Trade and Innovation and the Global Council for the Promotion of International Trade, Global Nutripreneurs was engineered to dismantle these barriers. We are moving decisively past passive business directories. Powered by a robust digital operating system featuring AI-driven founder mentor matching, automated regulatory compliance hubs, and an integrated virtual deal room, we are systematically transforming high potential ventures into scalable investment grade new businesses. Our ecosystem operates across 6 integrated strategic pillars, uniting a dedicated global R&D network, shared physical infrastructure via decentralized common facility centers, and an ESG-compliant trade and investment marketplace. Right now, our team is executing a massive global pipeline evaluation, reviewing over 10,000 agriculture, food, and nutrition businesses across more than 150 countries. Our mission is clear: to uncover the elite innovators shaping the next era of wellness, unlock friction-free global market access, and actively drive a 40% reduction in global post-harvest food losses. Today, as part of our Women in Food, Agriculture, and Nutrition Forum series, we are mapping out the blueprint for the agriculture revolution. Joining us is a leader whose work sits at the very frontier of this transformation. Please welcome to the global stage our guest for today, Soumya Mandarapu. Is a founder and director of Millenova Foods Private Limited. Her most significant professional achievement is the development and large-scale implementation of an integrated nutrition-focused food processing and value addition model. This model has measurably improved the quality, availability, and accessibility of food while simultaneously building sustainable livelihoods for farmers and rural communities across India, with particular depth of impact in the northeastern hill region. Over the course of her career, she has developed and standardized more than 85 value-added food products spanning primary, secondary, and innovative functional categories. These include millet-based ready-to-eat and ready-to-cook foods, dehydrated fruits and vegetables, microgreen-enriched formulations, functional snacks, and nutraceutical-oriented products. Each product has been scientifically designed to retain maximum nutrient content, extend shelf life, and remain safe and affordable, directly contributing to improved dietary diversity and nutrition security in the communities she serves. I now request you to kindly proceed with your presentation. Over to you.
Yeah, very good evening to everyone. So today I'm going to talk about the women in nutrition, women in food and agriculture nutritional factors. So today actually the world is facing the many challenges regarding the nutritional products. One side, the millions of the people are suffering. Almost one third of the global population is suffering with the different kinds of malnutrition problems, and also many people are suffering with the different kinds of lifestyle disorders. So in another side of the thing is like people are also becoming very much health conscious and looking for the different functional, nutritional, and therapeutic foods. The demand is also increasing to control the different kinds of lifestyle diseases. So in this context, the actually the consumer to give the right food in the right way, the proper functional and therapeutic foods to the consumers, need to produce the different kinds of nutritional products in the proper way, in the right direction, is very much important. So connecting to the farmers and connecting to the different manufacturers and food processing organizations in the right direction is very much challenging. So in this here, so meeting this gap, meeting this demanding is not easy. So providing the right food in the right proportions and all. So in this the collaborative system definitely will the collaborative and ecosystem where the farmers and producing organizations and research and manufacturers work together can bring the significant changes to design the significant models to connect to the best value chain processings. So today the nutritional needs are very much important. Can I share my screen? So here you can, as I told you, the nutritional demanding is very much important. Creating a very much demand to reach the proper nutritional needs. So here you can see the different statistics. Almost 733 million people are undernourished worldwide. So here there are many factors like lifestyle diseases. Also, you can see the statistics. Almost 43% of the people worldwide, they're becoming the obese, and these are imbalance of nutrition is leading to the different kinds of malnutrition problems. So at the same time, I told you, like the nutritional demand is also increasing. The 70% of the global consumers actively seek the healthier and functional, clean label, sustainable food products, food and beverage products. So 60% of the people are there willing to pay the premium for the healthy products, premier healthy products. So in this like this so there is a greater demand for nutritional products. Top product demands driving in the market now, you can see that is like high protein. People are looking for the high protein products and millet based products and plant based foods and functional foods. So clean label and nutrition, natural clean label with the natural ingredients in the sustainable packing they are looking for. In coming to the nutraceutical industry also, there is it's a very good demand, and by 2030 it is expecting the 700 plus billion USD dollars. So in this way there is a greater demand for the nutritional products. It is there. So but the ecosystem, definitely, if ecosystem properly, if we can connectively work together, definitely we can bring the different significant changes in the worldwide. Here there are the many factors involved to create the best products. There are the many agri food startups fail because of there are many factors it will involve the technical gaps, the lack of R&D and formulation and nutritional retention, nutritional expertise is lack in the ground level. Generally farmers they will face the training, they will proper guidance and training and technical support. So, and another one is like a manufacturing barriers. They want to start the product, but they want to connect with other manufacturing units, or establishing the manufacturing unit itself is costing the very high end level. Costing also they can't pay. And another regulatory hurdles, like nowadays the FSSAI and other governing bodies also becoming very strict, and to following all the specifications and compliances. Sometimes their lack of the knowledge and producing the right certificates in the right time, it's a difficulty. And another factor is the like shelf life limitations, and sometimes they want to expand their scales, that limited fundings will be there. So in that and because of that, they couldn't able to connect the market access. There are the different challenges facing by the at the ground level, even the marginal scale entrepreneurs and startups facing these problems. And there is a great opportunity to resolve these problems, and connecting with the right ecosystem and networking. And if there are the different organizations also working supporting the entrepreneurs, and based on their requirements and product scalability and marketability, and hand holding support providing, and they can creating the best value chain systems. So one is the opportunity. We have to come up with the we have to when we design the one product with a complete unique based on the different USP that will give the proper scientific innovation and sustainable sourcing. The ingredients has to be sustainable source and efficient processing. The processing is also very much important. When you give the right processing, the nutrient absorption is very much available. That market driven products, the product is very good, the innovation is very good. If that the commercial viability is not there, again it will be the difficult. So in that way we have to think about the market driven products. The farmer and women empowerment also, we can connect, we can increase this one with the connecting with the different FPOs and SCGs and rural entrepreneurs as a value creators. So by achieving these things, we can get the sustainable nutrition business and better health for the generations to come, the sustaining livelihood and environment. So in this way, I'll share my experiences one by one, like connecting to these challenges. So how I have connected with the farmers and how I have designed my innovation. All these things I will share to you. Based on my innovation, we can achieve the value addition prospective view, and the post harvesting losses we can reduce. That is the 30 to 40% of the reduction in the post harvest losses, and 2 to 3x increase in the household income in the rural entrepreneurs. Because when we given the proper training to the rural level, in rural level, the entrepreneurs, their income also increasing. I will share that slides one by one. There are the major 5 pillars in the collaborative framework. The ecosystem has to be in the work on the different 5 pillars of the work. That is the one is the innovation and manufacturing process, and third is the commercialization process and capacity building through the training and mentorship and technical assistance. And the 5th pillar is the impact. The product which we have designed, that has to be impact on the social. It has to be social cause and the social impact from it has to create the farmer livelihoods, and the nutrition outcomes also should be good. The sustainable metrics, sustainability in metrics. So the ingredients which we are taking, the sustainable ingredients we have to choose and create the local create the product based on the local resources, and in connecting to the different organizations, then we can create the different products. Like this, in the global ecosystem, when we connect with the global nutripreneurs, they will bring the global startup ecosystem, innovation networks and research institutions and academic partnerships, investors and development organizations. So here Millinova can collaborate with the different ecosystems and product development. We are into the product development expertise and food technology and manufacturing capabilities, that we are connecting with the different manufacturing units. The local producers, we are getting into the different processing facilities there. We are doing the processing, and after that creating the value addition and value added products we are creating. And also we have connected with the regulatory bodies and FSSA compliances and everything we are taking care of. And commercialization expertise and market linkages, till the product till the marketing stage, in the commercialization experience is also plays very important role. They connecting to the different market channels, based on the demand we have to connect. In that way we could able to create the market linkages. We created the more than 120 products, validated product formulations. So in and also deep collaboration with the agriculture institutions and farmer producing organizations and rural level organizations like Youth for Action, and they have the almost 2000 farmers base. In that we have created different groups and creating like FPOs. uh, we have given the different training programs to them. They in the locally they are establishing the units, and they're creating the products, creating on the local market. They are connecting to the local market and selling the products. In this way, we are not only we are into the innovation, and also creating the creating the bridge to the farmers, and creating technical support to the farmers at the rural level. In that way we are working on. And from the suppose if any other entrepreneurs come to us, we at the idea phase, from till the market go to market strategy, we will work, and we will work on the formulation and all the guidance, technical support and compliances, everything will take care, and they can sell their product. We are working on the different wings like this. One is in the innovation and connecting with the farmers. There we are supporting farmers also, and another one are the other entrepreneurs. Suppose if anyone comes with the different ideas, we will create that idea to market phase. We will support in that way. So like here you can see the concept validation and prototype development and formulation development we will do. In the concept validation, generally the feasibility of assessment we will do. Suppose any entrepreneur come with the any idea, so whether it will be feasible or not, it is market suitable or not, and market opportunity analysis and consumer need based on that product, how the consumer will accept this product, all these market analysis will do. And the formulation development is another critical part. That is basically the functional properties, how that final needs will resolve the problem, the nutritional needs, how it will do is how it will support. In that way we will create the product formulation. And there are different category of product formulations we can do, like health beverages and millet based specialized nutritional products are also, and therapeutic and functional products are also we can develop. And prototype develop, the lab trials. Once we have designed the formulation, the lab trial is very much important. We will do the pilot manufacturing, and to standardize that product, and sensory aspects wise, all the taste parameters and everything we will analyze, and when we can create the product like this. That product optimization is also based on the final outputs. Is there any consumer based on the consumer, once the consumer evaluation done, is there any insights we got, then again we will tuning the product, and according to the market, according to the market and market optimization and cost optimization, everything we will include and design the product. In that way we will support to the different entrepreneurs. Yeah, this is also regulatory compliances. The FSA, I already explained you that FSSA complies product categorization. Yeah, generally people really very much suffering with the product, which product is coming to the which category. That is it the proprietary category, it is a health special dietary uses product for the special dietary uses, or it is in the therapeutic, or it is in the nutraceutical. Generally when they are applying the license, the proper sections are very much important to connect with that sections only. They can connect to the Amazon market and other markets. So the sections are not giving in the proper way. So they couldn't able to sell their product in the market. So in that validation is very much important. Ingredient validation and documentation, in documentation as per the FSSA compliances, we will create in that way. Then the quality standard specifications, testing protocols and shelf life studies. How many days the product will stable, the microbial analysis and everything we will do, and stability studies. Once we confirm with the all parameters, then we will approve the product formulation. Then we export readiness. Export readiness is also one of the factors. And this is the internet based on the international standards like US FDA and regulatory mapping, market specific requirements. US FDA and GM, whether they are following the GMP manufacturing, GMP practices, good manufacturing practices, and other ISO 22000 specifications. All these standards need to be followed, and based on that we will do the product. Coming to the in the farmer's point of view, after the post harvesting, there are the five critical areas we need to think about and resolve it. That is the framework: sustainable agribusiness growth, farmer partnership, and nutrition focused value chains, based on the barriers to scaling and FPO linkage model, training modules, and product development ecosystem strategy. Based on these strategies, we can decrease the post harvest losses to the product, and we can create the best products by following the specific parameters. Like this, we are connecting different manufacturers and other things. Here you can see we are connecting the different farmers to connecting at the ground level. Not only the specific farming system, we are giving the training in integrated farming system. With this, they are collecting they are able to and they're able to creating their revenue in the different forms, like they're from the vegetables and dairy producers and their other activities. Also they are doing in their farming activities. Like this, they are creating their income in different ways. So instead of selling the simply the raw form, they're creating the value added products, like from starting phase to the from the raw material to giving the support in a processing, primary processing, how that primary processing is happening, that after the dehydration, then again creating the different value added products. In that way, we are supporting the ground level farmers, and at the same way, suppose any other entrepreneurs also come women entrepreneurs comes, we supporting with the different processing methods to them, and understanding different processing methods and creating different value added products and market commercialized product ideas. All these things we are supporting. FPO linkage models for the price realization. So basically the procurement agency, generally the farmers directly, they go to the different agencies. Their profitability and the transparency, pricing transparency is very low. And then the collectively they will form a group like FPO. Through the FPO, they will connect with the organization. The organization will fix some pricing, so they can sell their product. That we can call it as the processing hub, aggregation and processing and quality assurance. All these aspects they will analyze, and they will get the good price to their products. Like this, that in that way they will get the transparent pricing and branding and market access also, they can get it. So in this way, the farmer prosperity and become the value creation partners, not just the suppliers. Farmers has to be farmers. They should not be like a just raw material suppliers. They have to be like a value creators, because instead of giving the raw material, they have to create some value to the product. They can get the more profits for their value addition. Yeah, in the rural, generally in the rural micro enterprises, we face some challenges when we are, getting the producers, and sometimes they are producing some healthy products. There are some technical issues they have to follow, that how they are doing the manufacturing process, the food safety guidelines, how they are following all these aspects. We have to give the proper training to them and the base level. And the shelf life also is a major factor. Suppose in their units, suppose they are producing the things as early uh, till the last shelf lifetime, they should not keep the product. Like that, they have created the market linkages. Immediately once the production done, within the 20 days, they used to within the 20 days, or within sometimes based on the orders, they used to supply the product to the different local markets. In that way, they are getting the commercial support, product costing and branding, marketing, and supporting continuous mentoring, market exposure. All these aspects we are supporting them and getting the good revenues. May Yeah, here you can see the different we are also giving the trainings to the different students and women farmers in the processing units. There are the different in the production of product making, and few students are coming for the internships before entering into any manufacturing industry. They are getting trained in our premises, and getting completely the primary processing, how to do the primary processing and secondary processing, all these things, getting knowledge and entering into the different food industries. In that way, more than 60 students we have given their trainings, training as a trainings to as a interns from the different institutions or universities. Universities connected us, and as a interns, the students came and they learned many things, and they implemented in their different in their projects. And the presence and showcase of Millinova in worldwide food India events. The product showcasing, we connected with the different organization to showcase our product. This is our innovation, that we have created the different nutritional bars and snacks in the balanced nutritional concept. We have connected with the different organizations. The IIMR is one of the institute. The product, they supported us to connect the different networking platforms. And with that networks, we could able to showcase our product in the different ways. There are the different events we have participated, and we have showcased our product. And we are connecting with the different institutions, and we are getting the students as interns, and we could able to giving the manufacturing and food processing trainings and everything in our Millinova. So these are the different we have participated in different events, and we got the very good recognitions to get these products. You can see the different products, like we have, our product concept is like millets, fruits, and vegetables, which will give the 30% of RDA as per the ICMR guidelines, balanced nutrition. 30% of the RDA of balanced nutrition it will give. In that way, we have created these products. So the local for these for developing these products, we are procuring the millet sources from the different farmers. Different farmers, and we are doing the processing. After that, we are developing the different products. And we have we participated in different events, and we got the good recognitions, and we are the best we got the best millet startup awards. And from the DBT also we got the recognitions, and 75 under the 75 startups we selected, and we got the RK Vivek Raftar funding recognition, got the fundings and all. So these are the different awards we have received, and also connect with the different institutions like Manage and all agri sector. So I am giving the agri entrepreneur training programs and providing the guest lectures, giving the technical knowledge, technical know-how to the different farmers. When we connect with the global entrepreneurs, we can work on the different innovation and manufacturing and commercialization and capacity building mm, capacity building factors, the training and mentorship and the technical assistance. In those aspects we can work, and in that way we can collaborate and integrated ecosystem together. Both organizations can create the pipeline from idea to commercialization success. Yeah, uh, thank you.
Thank you, Soumya, for sharing your valuable insights with the global entrepreneurs community. That was an engaging and thought-provoking presentation. I'd now like to ask you a few questions to dive a little deeper into your experience and perspective.
Yeah.
Your work highlights a 30 to 40% reduction in post-harvest losses through low-cost dehydration and minimal processing technologies. What are the key operational and economic barriers to scaling these technologies among smallholder farmers, and how can agribusiness make them commercially viable at the grassroots level?
Yeah, so basically there are the two factors like operational barriers and economic barriers. So inconsistent raw material supply and power infrastructure gaps and quality control at the first mile. Storage, logistics, and after processing. And economic wise also they face many problems like high upfront capital, uncertain return to the investment, working capital, and working capital gaps. These two barriers we can come up with the solutions like the and make it the commercially viable products. Like we have, I mean, planned the collaborative and centralized primary processing units. And we can provide the training to them, and the collectively the we can make the a few people like and a few farmers like as a FPO. So they collectively take the action, and in the centralized primary processing unit they will come to there and they will work on the decided product, like the product like where that locally local resources more, what are the local resources available, based on those resources they will develop the product. And for developing these products we connected with the local government bodies, and we could provide the proper assistance to them in the technical side and financial support wise, and they could able in these things they could able to achieve the things like reduce they could able to reduce the post harvest. Before that they used to sell directly, suppose for example vegetables they used to sell directly to the local traders and all. So now they are converting these products into the value added products, and selling through the organization and getting the good incomes. So in the price premium and higher farmer income, so adoption and scale through the community models and sustainable agri systems security, they can achieve it in that kind of process. Yes.
Thank you for sharing
Hello.
that perspective. That's a valuable insight. Building on that, I'd like to move to my next question. Transitioning farmers from selling raw commodities to participating in value-added processing often requires a shift in mindset and infrastructure. Based on your experience developing millet and produce-based formulations, how can agribusiness effectively structure FPO linkages to ensure better price realization and sustainable profit sharing?
Yeah. So basically, when the local institutions involved, I already told you that we are after farming the FPO. instead of going individually, if they connect with the local organizations like Youth for Action, and collaboratively we worked. And here, so Youth for Action connected with the NABARD support. They're basically providing the financial support and capacity building. At the same time, YFA is also providing the from the grassroots level, from the seed, providing the seed to till the final product receiving, till the like a producer farm, till the raw material receiving. So in all the aspects, the all the aspects, they're providing the technical things. Once when the pre-harvesting things done, they connected, we connected, we will involve in the after post harvesting things, like we will provide the technology and technology support and the technical knowledge in the developing of post harvesting technologies. So in that way, they could able to achieve each and every step of the process. They are connecting, not they are not directly connecting to the local vendors. So they are following the good manufacturing practices and standardized recipes and documentation and proper packaging and regulatory compliances, and everything. Yeah, by providing the knowledge, they are utilizing the knowledge and could able to understand the system, and could able to sell their products. In that way, they are could able to achieve the cluster level decisions and cluster level profits they are getting.
That's a very interesting way to look at it. Moving on to our next question. You've mentored rural youth, SHGs, and women entrepreneurs to build small-scale food enterprises and boosted household income by 2 to 3 times. What are the most critical modules in technical training, from GMP and packaging to regulatory compliance, that enable a rural micro enterprise to transition into a scalable, market-ready agri-food business?
Yeah. Here, again, the same. Can you please repeat the question once again?
The question was,
Hello.
you've mentored rural youth, SHGs, and women entrepreneurs to build small-scale food enterprises that boosted household income by 2 to 3 times. What are the most critical
Yeah.
modules in technical training, from GMP and packaging to regulatory compliance, that enable a rural micro enterprise to transition into a scalable, market-ready agri-food business?
Yeah. Here, basically, the main things like. So in the rural enterprises, the critical things, the following the critical things are very much few things are very much critical to follow at the grassroots level, because in the good manner, Youth for Action, Youth for Action at the grassroots level, and Milnova is involving in product formulation techniques and all. They're learning each and whenever the they're establishing the local units. At the same time, they're connecting, the marketing is also finding out is also difficult. Till the production, they're very much confident. Connecting to the market is a one major challenging thing. So they formed as a group. One group is like a involving in the production, another connecting in the FPO only. There a few people there working on the marketing things, and a few people connecting the financial things. So in that way, dividing the different groups in the production and planning and marketing and financial things. They're the people who involved with marketing. So they are putting the local resources to the market and all. For the right people with the right marketing, they could with the help of with the help of the local government bodies, they could able to fix the pricing. They could able to fix the pricing, and they can directly, whenever they are getting the orders, they're supplying. And here one more thing, like in the putting a shelf life, the suppose one and the warehouses are also problem. The local warehouse, and stocking when they're stocking the material and everything, there are many issues like shelf life and and climatic issues, and these following the proper way, it's very difficult. In that way, based on the orders they are going, based on the orders they are creating the product, and immediately within the 1 week they are supplying to the local markets. And in that way, they could able to save their stocks, instead of putting the raw material, like for example only the ragi flour, the packaging, and storing, instead of storing the only flour wise, they're making into the different snacks and packaging. That is, instead that the raw material only flour can they can save 1 to 2 months, but in the converting in the value added product, like different snacks, and giving the proper packaging could able to shelf could able to increase the shelf life more than 4 months. In that way, they could they're learning the different things and implementing in that way. So getting the problem, and yeah.
Thank you for highlighting that. That leads us nicely to the next topic. With over 120 standardized functional food and nutraceutical products in your portfolio, how do you balance scientific integrity of nutrient retention, such as in climate resilient millets and microgreens, with consumer market demands for taste, convenience, and extended shelf life?
Yeah, coming to our innovation, I already okay. So I told you already about that our products like Millinova. We have, developed the different millet-based snacks and nutritional bars. For the these products, basically the millets are the less shelf life. The processing factors are very much important. Before converting these millets into the different value added products, we will consistent processing with the from the raw material selection to different temperatures. We will maintain and prepare the different specific processing methods for the primary processing thing, and coming to the secondary processing, the particle size and everything we will standardize. This will done in the connecting connecting manufacturing, connecting with the established manufacturing unit. We and also we do the processing with the proper specifications as per the FSSAI guidelines and all. Everything we will follow, and we do the processing and formulation level also. The consistency of the taste and exactly flavor we will maintain for the standardization of the formula. And for these we connect with the different different organizations, and they will provide the we will work with the R&D team and all. We standardize the flavors and all, and the consistent flavor and taste, everything will come. And the consumer testing point of view, before introducing any product, we will do the consumer evaluation, and we will get the feedbacks, and accordingly we can develop the product in that way also. Once we got the proper feedback, then we will fix the formula and we will go for the final production. Basically, the after the produces everything, the packaging is also one thing important. Because we are not adding any preservatives in the product, so we use the proper packaging system, and oxygen barrier, we will do the map packaging, oxygen moisture barriers, and to protect the nutrients over the time. In that way, we will maintain in each and every step, we will follow, and we will maintain the thing. Yeah.
Those are some excellent points. Let's explore another important aspect. As a speaker and innovator within the global nutripreneurs ecosystem, how do you plan to leverage your 17 plus years of expertise in agri-food value addition and women-led entrepreneurship to help global stakeholders replicate nutrition-sensitive, climate-resilient food models in other developing markets?
Yeah. Basically to connecting with the global level other entrepreneurs based on the for example, I'll give my experiences. So we have connected with the different local entrepreneurs and other global level local entrepreneurs and different states entrepreneurs. So based on their requirement, we can design the product, and we are according to their specifications, we will design the product and standardize the product, and support in the market research. The market research is very much important. Suppose any entrepreneur, if they come with the idea, the other after that the formulation is one thing, and processing is one thing, and standardization, connecting to the market, how these points basically plays very important role. So in that way, we will work on the product level implementations. After that, they can even market, how to connect the market, that those things are also we will guide them in the all nutritional aspects. um, so first, the framework we can work on, assess the local context and design the local model based on the available crops. Then training, technology and quality compliances, infrastructure support. How can they develop the infrastructure and everything? We will technically, and we will support, and we can support them to the different local FPOs and networks and buyer institutions. Till that we can support them, and they can in that way we can support the ecosystem. Yeah. Then we can achieve the resilient communities and sustainable business models. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that gives our audience a lot to reflect on. What an incredible masterclass for conversation. Thank you for sharing your blueprints with us today. Your profound insights reinforce exactly why global entrepreneurs exist, to bridge the critical gap between commercial profitability and sustainable social impact. To everyone tuning in across our global network, whether you're an innovator, an investor, or a policymaker, the path to plugging into this unified agri-food operating system is clear. For agri-food entrepreneurs and founders, stop struggling in isolation. Fast track your venture through our customized scaling pathways, leverage our AI-driven mentor matching, and utilize our automated regulatory compliance hubs to make your business cross-border ready. For accredited investors, eliminate the noise of unvetted pipelines, access our pre-evaluated investment-grade Nutri businesses directly through our integrated virtual deal room, and secure your stake in the next era of health and wellness. For industrial and academic partners, collaborate with us. Let's unlock deep tech innovation through our global agri-food, nutrition, research, and development forum, and actively build a more equitable ecosystem by championing leadership at our Women in Food, Agriculture, and Nutrition Forum. Together, we can maximize our global networks and deploy decentralized common facility centers to actively drive that 40% reduction in global post-harvest food losses. The future of the global agri-food economy is no longer about survival. It is about sustainable nutrition, scientific excellence, and friction-free global trade. Visit globalentrepreneurs.com to secure your application, verify your venture, and claim your place in the future of food innovation. Thank you for joining us on Global Entrepreneurs. Until next time, keep innovating, keep scaling, and build with impact. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Wish you all the best to all global entrepreneurs, and wish you all the best. Thank you for giving me opportunity.